Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are doing part 2 of reacting to your football hot takes. I did part 1 of this series a couple weeks back and you guys seem to really enjoy it, so you know we had to come back with a part 2. Same as last time, I left a post on my community tab asking you guys to give me some of your hot takes, and we got over 100 comments this time, 100 responses to this post, which is fucking crazy. Thank you guys so much for submitting your hot takes. I mean, also I want to say this, because this channel, like since yesterday, since I did my watch along and I posted the post-match review yap session of Real Madrid Barcelona, which by the way I still have not recovered from that game, but we're gonna put on a brave face and make this video. We've gained like 500 subs and we're still growing, so I just want to say, man, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. If you're new to this channel, then welcome. I'm super happy, I'm super excited to have you here. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and yeah, man, thank you guys so much for all the support. And honestly, anytime I can give my gratitude to you guys, I'm going to do it, because you guys are making one of my dreams come true. So thank you so much. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to try and get to as many of these as possible, because obviously I won't be able to get to all of them because this video would be over an hour long. And like I always say, if yours was not featured in today's video, don't be sad, don't be discouraged. I'm going to do a lot of parts of this series, so at one point you will get featured, I promise. But maybe today was not your day. But yeah, enough of this long ass intro. Let's start reacting to some of your hot takes. Starting off with Johan Cruyff is the most influential player and manager in football history because of the way he changed the game and how he set the foundation for the modern game. This to me is not a hot take. I 100% wholeheartedly agree with this opinion. When I look at Johan Cruyff, he to me is undoubtedly the greatest player manager of all time. When I look at, like, to me, he's not the greatest player of all time, obviously, and he's also not the greatest manager of all time. But when you combine both of them, no one did it quite as good as him. The only other guy in the conversation is Zidane, but I think Cruyff was both a better player and a better manager than Zidane. And when you look at some of the greatest managers in the history of modern football, very few of them were great players. Pep Guardiola was a good player, won a European Cup with Barca in '92, but was not a great player by any means. Ancelotti was a good player, not a great player. Mourinho was not even a good player. He was just a player, and he's obviously a fantastic manager. When you look at, obviously, Sir Alex Ferguson, I don't know how he was as a player, but I can assure you he wasn't an all-time great, and obviously one of the greatest managers. Cruyff was one of the few guys that excelled at both of those things. And when you look at a lot of the things that are used today in modern football, like the false nine, like a high defensive line, like positional play, a lot of that stemmed from Johan Cruyff and Ajax and those Dutch teams in the 70s. That obviously those Ajax teams that won 3 straight UCLs, those Dutch teams that made World Cup finals in '78 and '74. And to me, Johan Cruyff was super influential in both of those. Obviously, goes to Barca and adapts that philosophy, brings that philosophy over to Barcelona as a player, and then as a coach, obviously won a European Cup with them in '92 and won 4 straight league titles with Barcelona. And when you look at some of the greatest teams of all time, a lot of those ideas and philosophies stem from Johan Cruyff in total football, whether it's Spain in the 2010s with obviously that great golden generation that they had and the way they played football, Barcelona with Pep Guardiola and Barcelona with Luis Enrique. All these ideas stem from Johan Cruyff, and to me, he's undoubtedly the most influential player and manager in the history of football. He's just, I think a lot of people maybe think that Johan Cruyff and the Dutch team invented total football. They didn't invent it, because if you go back and look at those Brazil teams in the 70s that won a World Cup in 1970 against Italy, they kind of had their own adaptation of total football and positional play. But what Johan Cruyff and that Dutch team and those Ajax teams did is that they took it to another level. They made it so extreme to the point where you could have a striker playing left back and a left back playing left mid. They just took it over. But yeah, I do think that Johan Cruyff, when you look at his philosophy and the way he preached football, he was almost like a pioneer for football around the world. And he was a guy that, it's not just about if you win the game, it's about the result. And that's obviously a philosophy that Barca to this day carry on, even though we don't really see that when we play nowadays. But anyway, yeah, I 100% agree with this take. Johan Cruyff, the GOAT player manager to me. The next one is England has the best squad potential out of every national team. I disagree. I would put England maybe second, maybe third. I think France has the best squad potential out of any national team. France is just, they're loaded with talent. They're spoiled with talent, bro. It looks like every single great young player that comes out and plays is French. I mean, their center back selection is absurd. Konate, Upamecano, Saliba, Koundé. I mean, it's fucking crazy. Their attacking options, obviously, Griezmann and Mbappe. I mean, to me, France is a clear-cut number 1. I would maybe put England at number 2 because I do think England is spoiled with talent. Maybe Portugal even at number 3. I think those are the 3 teams that have the most talent right now. But to me, I wouldn't say England's number 1. I'd put France at number 1. But England's up there for sure. The next one isn't really a hot take. It's just something that I want to talk about because I found really interesting. Players can switch from overrated to underrated and back due to people blowing those terms out of proportion. I 100% agree, and we're seeing one of those cases right now in real time. We're literally living through this right now, and that player is Bukayo Saka. We're seeing that with Bukayo Saka right now. Bukayo Saka, when Arsenal were rolling, oh my god, this guy, we wouldn't sell him for 150 million. He's going to be a Ballon d'Or candidate. We all love Saka. He's amazing. Oh my gosh, England's star boy. And now Arsenal are going through a rough patch, and all of a sudden Bukayo Saka can't play. He's washed. Let's sell him. Phil Foden clears him, which I do agree that Phil Foden is better. I don't think he clears him. And people just start disrespecting Saka. Now, obviously, we as football fans, I am also like this with my team and my players. We're up and down, okay? When a player plays great for 3 games, he's untouchable. When a player is shit for 2 games, he sucks. And we want him out of the club. Trust me, I'm the same way with my players. Obviously, if you've heard my commentary about Lewandowski, even though for him he's good for 1 game and then he sucks for 15 games. But anyway, this is not about Lewandowski. I don't want to get my blood pressure up right now. I think this is 100% true. And we don't have patience with young players anymore. We don't have patience with players coming up through the ranks. And, we expect every player to be amazing right away. And that's just really not the case. And we expect every player to be Messi and Ronaldo, where every season they're bagging like over 60 GA. And that's just really not the case, bro. Not every player is Messi, Ronaldo, Haaland, Mbappe. These guys are aliens, man. These guys are aliens. And Bukayo Saka, just because he's not having the best time right now, does not mean he sucks. And just because he was playing great in the beginning of the season does not mean he's one of the best players in the world. There's nuance that goes into those conversations, obviously. And for me, obviously, we see sometimes with Julian Alvarez as well. When he's scoring goals for City, he's better than Haaland. When he doesn't score goals for City, he sucks. And this is why Haaland's way better. Which I agree, by the way. I think Erling Haaland's significantly better than Julian Alvarez. But I think, obviously, you guys get my point. We as football fans, we go up, we go down. And that's just part of, obviously, us being emotional about our team. But yeah, I 100% agree with this. This next one is a really good one. Ronaldo will reach 1,000 plus goals, win the Euros in 2024, and win the World Cup trophy in 2026, and become the undisputed GOAT of football. Wow, bro. And then you woke up, right? This is just like you were dreaming, bro. This is like your wet dream. This is never gonna happen. Not saying that, I don't want it to happen, obviously, and it's not gonna happen. Both of them, I obviously don't want to see this happen because I'm not the biggest Ronaldo fan, and this is not gonna happen. Now, could he reach 1,000 goals? Yes, because he's playing in the Saudi League, which I don't really give a fuck about, so he might reach 1,100 goals if he keeps playing there for 5 more years. I don't really care about that. When you're talking about the Euros and the World Cup, guys, stop expecting Ronaldo to be something that he hasn't been his whole career at 37 and 38 years old, or 39, whatever age he's going to be when the Euros come around. He's not a big game player when it comes to international tournaments for Portugal. The one international tournament that he won, the Euro in 2016, let's be honest here, he was subpar, and that team won the final with his ass sitting on the bench. Okay? And in the World Cup, there's no fucking way Ronaldo's going to go, and after ghosting in Qatar, he's going to go to the World Cup in 2026, being 4 years older, and all of a sudden put on this great performance and be a striker. The guy got benched at the last World Cup. Again, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm going to be mean here, because this take is absolutely horrific. Ronaldo, first of all, could Portugal win the Euros in 2024? Yes, they have a really good team. They have one of the best teams in Europe. They have that good of a squad. But if they don't win it, it's going to be, if they don't win it and Ronaldo starts every game and he goes, it's going to be an even bigger indictment on him. And then the World Cup in 2026, that's obviously 2 years away, so we'll have to see what happens there. But I don't see Portugal winning the World Cup, especially not with Ronaldo, because he's just not going to come through. So to me, yes, 1,000 goals could happen, but those 2 international tournaments, how is it said? Forget about it. That's what I would say. Don't let that thought even creep into your mind. The next one is Arsenal will win the Premier League this season. Now, I don't want to really bring your hopes down, Arsenal fans, but that's never going to happen. It's done. You had your chance to pull away, and your form has been shit over the past few months. Oh, not over the past few months, over the past month. And you really had a chance to pull away from City, and it didn't happen. And City just got Kevin De Bruyne back, and every game that he's played in, he seemed like he's looked like the best player on the pitch. And Liverpool look amazing still. So to me, Arsenal are going to finish 3rd. I had Arsenal finishing 2nd a month back, but after this rough patch, bro, I don't know, man. It looks bad. Now, obviously, they could still contend for the UCL because they're in that competition and they have a really good team. And obviously, knockout-style tournaments are different than leagues because there's a lot more luck and a lot less consistency involved. But I just don't think that Arsenal this season have the horses to keep up with City or Liverpool. Especially, City's probably going to go on a 15-game, unbeaten streak now that Kevin De Bruyne is back. And Liverpool with Jurgen Klopp, after a down season last season, this season they're back at it. And yes, they're going to miss Mohamed Salah because he's at AFCON. But I still think they have the squad quality to sustain that period without him. And when he comes back, bro, oh man, you better believe they're going to be putting the pressure. And they're also getting players back from injury. So I think Liverpool and City are clear. They're a different class from Arsenal this season. I think Arsenal will finish 3rd, but I think those 2 teams are going to be above them. The next one is Neymar is way better than Ronaldinho. Now, I think Neymar is better. I wouldn't say way better. I think that's a little disrespectful to Dino, who is one of the best players of this generation. But I think a lot of the arguments that people have for Ronaldinho are nostalgia-based. I don't think you can make any... Neymar is literally better at every facet of the game. I think Neymar is honestly a better dribbler. That's not even a hot take because people obviously have Ronaldinho synonymous with dribbling. He was one of the best dribblers of all time. Neymar is a top 3 dribbler that I've ever seen. I mean, go look at Neymar's dribbling. The guy, it's like he has fucking super glue on his foot. I think Neymar's a better playmaker and passer. I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think Neymar has a better shot on him. I just think Neymar's all around the better player. And people talk about the international career. Go look at the crop of players that Ronaldinho played with at Brazil. Go look at that crop of players and go look at the crop of players that Neymar played with when he was at Brazil and his national team tenure. It's night and day, bro. Brazil had a golden generation then, and obviously Ronaldinho was a part of that. But Neymar and what he's had to deal with in the national team, that's far from a golden generation, especially by Brazil standards. And when I look at Neymar, obviously there's another Ballon d'Or. If Messi and Ronaldo didn't exist, Neymar would have 2 Ballon d'Ors by now, maybe 3. he's that good. I think people obviously don't like Neymar because of the diving and all this different shit, and his antics and his attitude. I get that. I personally don't subscribe to that, but I get it if you feel that way. I think when you look at Neymar Jr. as a player, I think he's a better player than Ronaldinho, and I think the eye test and the stats also back that up. The next one, another Ronaldo one. Ronaldo's a top 10 playmaker and passer. No. No, he's an underrated playmaker and passer. I think people obviously have their image, the image in their head of Ronaldo, the last stint at United and at Juventus, and those latter years at Real Madrid after his knee injury, and obviously now at Al Nassr, where he's mostly just a poacher, let's be honest. And I think people forget Ronaldo, his early days at United and his early days at Real Madrid, when he was tasked with playmaking a lot more. But Cristiano Ronaldo is not a top 10 playmaker and passer of all time. I can name 10 right now off the top of my head that are better. Messi's better, Iniesta's better, Xavi's better, Modric is better, Neymar is better, Kevin De Bruyne is better, Lampard is better. I mean, who else? Pirlo is better. I mean, there's a lot more that I can think of off the top of my head. Obviously, some of the greatest midfielders. Ozil is better, of course. I forgot to mention Ozil. Toni Kroos is better. I mean, Ronaldo's not in that class. Now, if you're talking about, he's like, if you combine goal scoring and playmaking, he's one of the top 10 of all time, of course, because he's such a great goal scorer and also like a decent playmaker. But just playmaking and passer, not even close to top 10. This is actually, I wouldn't even say he's top 20, honestly. Like, obviously, I'm doing this off the top of my head, so I can't, like, but if I wanted to make a list, I could name 20 players who are better playmakers and passers than Ronaldo. So to me, again, underrated playmaker and passer, but not top 10, not even close. The next one, Pep Guardiola will win another treble with Man City. I mean, I don't see why he couldn't. Honestly, he's got the squad quality. He's got the money to bring in new players. I don't think it will happen this season. I don't think they're going to win the treble this year because I do think that Liverpool are going to win the league. But, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them because I think they're the favorites to win the UCL. They could obviously win the FA Cup. They could obviously win the league. I mean, I would never put anything past Man City and Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola, to me, is the greatest manager of all time, and he finally got the monkey off his back after winning the UCL last season with City. And this squad is just going to keep getting better. Haaland's going to keep scoring goals. Phil Foden's going to continue to develop. Kevin De Bruyne is going to still be amazing. All their defenders are going to still get better, develop and get better. Rodri's going to keep getting better. I mean, Jeremy Doku's going to keep getting better. All these players that they bring in are going to keep getting better because City's development is fucking insane, and the way they spend money it's the best in the world. So to me, I wouldn't put it past them, honestly. I think Man City are that good. They're going to be a threat for a really long time. As long as Pep is there, and even after he leaves because of the money they have, they're going to go out and get the best coach available. So to me, in terms of Pep and City, though, I could 100% see them winning another treble. I wouldn't put it past them whatsoever. The next one is Messi's a better goal scorer than Ronaldo. Statistically, obviously, in parentheses. I 100% agree with this take. I think Messi's better with both the eye test and with stats. Obviously, people talk about Ronaldo has more goals in his career. Yes, because he's played over 100 more games. If you adjust for games, Messi is obviously a better goal scorer. He has a better goal per game ratio, a better goal per minute ratio. Messi has the greatest goal scoring season in the history of football, the greatest goal scoring calendar year in the history of football, obviously 2012. And I think Messi, obviously Ronaldo was blessed with height so he could score headers. I think Ronaldo's also better with his weak foot, but Messi's a better free kick taker. Messi's better, to me, from outside of the box. That could be a hot take, but if you go look at the stats, Messi has more goals from outside of the box. I think Messi is a better finisher than Ronaldo. All these things people are going to think are crazy. Go look at, like, people act like Messi's not one of the greatest goal scorer in the history of football. Messi also has more golden boots because he's won 6, Ronaldo's 4. So this to me is not a hot take at all. I think when you're looking at goal scoring, Messi's better, and that's crazy because that's the only thing that Ronaldo really has over him, and Messi's still better in that department. But yeah, to me, Messi is the greatest goal scorer of all time. Now, Ronaldo's close, but I think the eye test and the stats say that Messi is just better. He's just ahead in that department. And now the last one, it's okay to buy fake football kits because the real kits are far too overpriced, 100%, bro. In this economy, who the fuck is buying real kits? First of all, yes, it's fine if you want to support your club. These clubs generate billions a year. Billions of dollars. If you got hit by a bus tomorrow, they would not give a fuck. They would not give a fuck. That applies to me, by the way, with Barcelona. That's why I don't buy kits. Because these clubs, if you got hit by a bus tomorrow, they would not give a shit. And I'm not going to go ahead and buy a $100 kit when I can get the fake one off some fucking Alibaba website for like 20 bucks, and it's the same shit. It's still a kit, bro. Oh, you want to support your club? Bro, again, like I said, these are billion-dollar corporations. They don't give a fuck about $100. Like, if you want to go and buy the real one, that's up to you. I'm not criticizing you if you do that. But to shame people who buy, like, reps is stupid in my opinion. So it's 100% good to buy the fake football kit because, again, in this economy, shit is way too overpriced. And these teams are not going to lower the price down. The working class, the people who actually work for their money and actually like are saving and all that shit, it's illogical to put that much money into a fucking kit. And the people who buy the new kit every single year, I don't know how you do it, bro. You must be balling because that's insane. I mean, I don't have the budget for that, but yeah. And that, guys, like I said, was the last one. So this is the end of the video. I appreciate everyone who submitted their hot take, man. I love making these videos where you guys interact and you guys share your opinion because it obviously makes me really happy. So thank you guys so much for everybody who submitted their hot take. I appreciate you guys, man. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.